You're ready for a comeback. And with Purdue Global, you can do more than take classes. You can take charge of your story, of your career, of your life. Earn a degree you can be proud of and get an education employers respect. It's time, your time, not just to go back to school, but to come back and move forward with Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults. Start your comeback at purdueglobal.edu.
With the best all-inclusive vacation deals to Mexico and the Caribbean, booking your getaway with Cheap Caribbean Vacations means you have more freedom to do your deal. Whether you want to enjoy snorkeling, endless margaritas and more, or simply soak up the sun and sand in a tropical paradise, Cheap Caribbean Vacations has your deal for that. Plan and book the exact getaway you want at exactly the right price for you by using our exclusive budget Beach Finder, or find a featured all-inclusive package to Iberostar Hotels and Resorts and do your deal at cheapcaribbean.com.
You deserve a moment to yourself every single day. And a delicious bite of a Keebler Sandies can give you that comforting pause. Don't forget to pack the melt-in-your-mouth magic of a Keebler Sandies for a post-lunch pick-me-up. This magic is baked into simple shortbread cookies by Ernie and the Keebler Elves. So as life continues to fly by, make the most of your me moment. Take a pause and enjoy a Keebler Sandies.
Hi everyone, it's Amanda Rieger Green. Welcome to Soul Sessions. I have a special episode for you today, and I am dedicating it to my mother. This episode is airing on February 28th, which is the 1-year anniversary of her death. So a big shout out to you, Mom in heaven, and this one's for you. I tell you what, I have a lot of reflections, a lot of insights, and information to share about March. March is a beautiful month. It may feel a little icky, it may feel a little disjointed at times, but it's all good stuff. And when you know better how to navigate it and what the energies may create for you, you can actually harness that to your ability. One of the big things I want to highlight is the numerology and the astrology. First off, we are in a 2 universal month in an 8 year. The way that I get that is March is the 3rd month of the year. 2024, as you all know, because you've been following along, is an 8 year in numerology. So 8 plus 3 equals 11. 11 reduced, 1 plus 1 equals 2. So we have a 2 month. But guess what else we have? We have a master month. It's an 11 month. So we get 2 energies and 2 opportunities to tap into the vibrations of this month. When we work with master numbers, the way that I want to communicate it is when we work with a master number, there's a base frequency because the master numbers are 22, 33, and 11. I don't know why I just went backwards with that, but I did. So the master numbers, if you're dealing with the 22, 2 plus 2 equals 4. If you're dealing with the 33, 3 plus 3 equals 6. If you're dealing with the 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2. So they have a base frequency, which is, to me, it's not a lower vibe. It's the base frequency. It's what the root meaning of it is. And the master energy, the 11, the 22, or the 33, is what you reach for, you aspire to, you level up through. So you can't live in that master energy all the time because it's not sustainable and it will overwhelm and overwork you. So you want to really tap into the base frequency of the energy. So this month in March, we're working with the numbers 2 and 11. And I will talk about that a little more, especially in conjunction with the 8. If you have the numerology guidebook, you've got all these details. You've got intentions and mantras and crystal recommendations, journal prompts. Dive into that stuff and then also think about it through the lens of the 11 as I break it down a little bit. I also want to talk about the astrology because we are officially entering eclipse season this month. And that can be very transformative, sometimes turbulent, but it signifies change. And in addition to that, we also are stepping into spring. The equinox is upon us. We are shifting into the astrological new year. That's when the sun moves from Pisces, the very last sign of the zodiac, into Aries, the first sign of the zodiac. So we have the spring equinox. So as you can tell, there's a lot to play with and work with. And there's new beginning energy, but there's also transforming and healing energy happening. So let's talk a little bit about the numerology. First of all, the 2 and the 8 combo, it's kind of emotional. I had to think about it for a second. And if you draw a 2 on your paper or an 8 on your paper, they're not linear like a 1 or a 7. Now, the 2 at the bottom has a linear base. You know, you draw the rounding on the top of the 2 and then the base of it. So it has a base. But in general, the 2 and the 8 are more heightened and sensitive emotionally. They move through feeling and intuition and passion, compassion, and not so much in logic. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to be illogical or you're not going to be grounded or you're going to be overly emotional, but you may feel things more deeply. And guess what the 2 signifies? Sensitivity. The 2 is a sensitive energy. The 2 is about partnership. And it's not just about relationship or partnership, friendship, connection, connectivity. It really signifies, what am I learning through the other person? The other can also be, what am I learning through this experience? What am I learning through my body? Even though your body is not other, what is my body telling me? You can look at other in multiple ways. You can look at it as masculine and feminine dialogue, the right and left hemispheres of the brain. And then when we talk about the energy of the 11, it's really, what am I learning through the other, the divine, that higher energy? When am I bringing the divine into my human experience? Those are the big key factors. The 2, if I were to liken it to an energy in the zodiac, it's so Libra. Like, it's so Libra, and y'all know I'm a Libra. You know, I laugh a little bit about it because it is sensitive and there's a people-pleasing element to it. The 2 loves to support. It loves to partner up. It loves to collaborate. That is naturally the energy of the 2. But it can also be so concerned or care about the other that it forgets about itself, or it takes everything personally. So pay attention to that this month. Where are you focused or too focused on other people, what they're doing, what they're thinking, what they're needing, or other people's stuff, and then comparing it to yourself? It's kind of like being on social media, and we sometimes are scrolling and then we get insecure, or, you know, we have some sort of feeling or reaction. We not so much take it personally, but we internalize it, and then we mistake that for our own worth or our own ability to achieve or be recognized. However you may interpret that, it's really more about, what is this teaching me? Everything this month is about, what am I learning? And I'm going to relate this to the master energy of the 11 in some really cool ways. And I'm going to share some experiences I had with my mom, because I am very sentimental at this time and sensitive, because it is a 1-year anniversary. And for any of you who are in the middle of the grieving process, just lost or are losing someone you love, have lost someone in the past, most of us can relate to that in some way or another. Some of us more acutely, of course. But I tell you what, we all know it. Grief is not linear, and being able to heal, it is really a process, and it takes patience. And patience is another signifier of the energy of the 2. So guess what this month? Pack your freaking patience, because it's not going to be a bam, bam, go get them kind of month. It's a hurry up and wait kind of month. It's let me show up, let me do my part, and then can I step back and allow things to materialize? Can I step back and be patient? Can I hesitate a little bit rather than flying off the handle or shooting from the hip and apologizing later? Really pacing yourself. That is probably one of the key elements to this month, is slowing down a little bit and pacing yourself. The 2 is also about flexibility. So not being rigid, it's about seeing things from someone else's perspective, looking at both sides of things, but being flexible and patient with yourself. It is, again, it's not a go get 'em kind of energy. It's really get out there, do your work, do what's in front of you, and then step back and trust. And even deeper than trust, this is a month of deepening faith. And what I love about it is we start out the month with the sun in Pisces. Pisces is all about divinity and spiritual connection, oneness, divine communion, transcendence, mysticism, one love, compassion, idealism. There is so much watery, connected energy here that is intuitive, it's dreamy, it's creative, it is beautiful, and it's sensitive. It's super sensitive. So you're just going to be feeling your freaking feelings the first half of the month. And when the sun on the equinox moves into Aries on March 19th, we're going to have that fire and that passion and that spunk. So I would say probably around the 19th to the end of the month, that's where you may feel more of that impatience, because you'll have the sun in fiery fire starter, charging out of the gate, Aries, want to get it all done, achieve it, accomplish it. And then we've got this 2 energy in the numerology that's like, slow your roll, practice a little hesitation, pull the reins back a little bit. So pace yourself. Find your pace this month and know that a little bit slower actually may yield a higher quality output or product. Or if I slow down a little bit, maybe I will hesitate long enough or practice that patience long enough for another solution to be revealed, another opportunity to present itself that if I would have just jumped in and gotten it all done and done it myself, it might not have materialized yet. There might have been someone to assist or help. And when we talk about the energy of the 2, it is about collaboration and partnership. Who can I ask to help me? What do I learn from my friendships, my relationships? What do other people teach me? And I'm laughing a little bit as I say that, because here's the funny thing about the energy of the 2 is we don't always like what people reflect back to us. Like, it's not all unicorns and rainbows with the energy of the 2. It's sensitive. I told you, we take things personally when we marinate in the energy of the 2. If you're in a 2 personal year, you have a 2 life path number. And shout out to my mom. She was actually a 2 life path in her numerology. And if you're new to the podcast and you haven't heard much about numerology, there are episodes that you can check out. But your life path number, which is the sum total of your birthday reduced to a single digit. My mom was born on 7/29/1946, 1946. So if you add all of that up and reduce it down, it equals 2. My 2024 numerology guidebook is out now. Grab my comprehensive month-over-month numerology breakdown, guiding you through the empowered undercurrent of the infinite potential of the energy of the 8. 2024 is an 8 universal year. The guidebook breaks down the number codes of each month with a theme, a description, a detailed account of what the number code can clarify, create, provide, harness, clean up, and illuminate for you, with crystal recommendations, intentions, journal prompts, strategies, blind spots, and so much more. This is stuff I've been doing for years intensively with clients and for myself. I wanted to offer a guidebook for the year, this powerful and empowered year, looking at the universal energy, breaking it down month over month clearly so you can systematically and consistently harness and understand your energy field and how it works in the collective and with the flow of the year. The 8 says, get empowered or go home. Get on board or get out of the game. And it's not to create fear, it's to create all of this potential. It's a year where you can really summon your charisma and clear out the gunk. Check out the tools I've created to help expand your consciousness and refocus your point of attraction to live your greatest, happiest, and healthiest life. Get the 2024 Numerology Guidebook today at soulpathology.com.
With the best all-inclusive vacation deals to Mexico and the Caribbean, booking your getaway with cheap Caribbean vacations means you have more freedom to do your deal. Whether you want to enjoy snorkeling, endless margaritas and more, or simply soak up the sun and sand in a tropical paradise, Cheap Caribbean Vacations has your deal for that. Plan and book the exact getaway you want at exactly the right price for you by using our exclusive budget beach finder, or find a featured all-inclusive package to Iberostar Hotels and Resorts and do your deal at cheapcaribbean.com.
Hey guys, it's Steve Covino from the Covino and Rich Show, and everybody knows Toyota trucks are the stuff of legends. Rugged, durable, everlasting, Toyota makes trucks that just don't quit. And now, Toyota's driving that legacy toward the future with two of their most powerful trucks ever, the new Tundra and the all-new Tacoma. In a half-ton Tundra, you could rule the roads from the comfort of a spacious cabin with connected tech and plenty of hauling power. The Tundra is ready to work hard and play even harder. Or check out the all-new 24 Tacoma, redesigned and electrified to maximize your adventure. With a bevy of available off-road driving and power transfer modes, you will effortlessly crush the conditions. And with the Tacoma's reimagined interior, you'll do it in style. And right now, your local Toyota dealer has more vehicles in stock and is making delivery on new vehicles almost every day. So don't wait. Buy a Tundra or Tacoma today. Visit buyatoyota.com for deals and more. Toyota, let's go places.
You deserve a moment to yourself every single day. And a delicious bite of a Keebler Sandies can give you that comforting pause. Bring along the melt-in-your-mouth magic of a Keebler Sandies to add a sprinkle of joy to your workday. This magic is baked into simple shortbread cookies by Ernie and the Keebler Elves. So as life continues to fly by, make the most of your me moment. Take a pause and enjoy a Keebler Sandies.
My mom was born on 7/29/1946, 1946. So if you add all of that up and reduce it down, it equals 2. She was a 2 life path. The life path is like your sun sign. It's part of your life lesson. It's the energy that you are aspiring towards and working on resonating and vibrating with. So the attributes of the energy of the 2 are a big part of your soul's development, your human experience, your journey, and the way that you learn and the way that you learn best in order to yield greater flow and harmony and passion and happiness and abundance and safety and security, all of those things. That's what the life path is about. So if you are a 2 life path, shout out to you, because any time in numerology when we're in, a certain year, or when we drill down to the numerology of the month and one of your personal numbers in numerology, your attitude or your life path is on display, because that's the energy we're in, you have an opportunity to really embrace those energies and also know yourself better. Numerology, to me, one of the greatest things I love about astrology and numerology and many tools, whether it be human design or, there are so many ways to the I Ching to learn about ourselves. But one of the things that I do love about numerology in general is I am always learning more about myself in the present moment. It is this continual learning and recognition of ways that I experience life and how I get to evolve and grow. And that's what I want you to notice this month. Even in March, we're in the 3rd month of the year already, right? Can you believe it? We're in the 3rd month of the year, or we're about to embark on it. I know today is the 28th. Tomorrow is leap year, so we've got the 29th, but we're about to embark on the 3rd month of the year. And you remember it kind of started out wonky and weird and slow. And now all of a sudden, whoa, where is time going? And it's amazing. But you know what? This might be a good month to do a little bit of reflecting. I would look back to the beginning of the year and look at where you are. Look at what maybe has changed a little bit within you as far as your goals, your desires, your aspirations, what you're poised for, where you know you're going to have to pull yourself up by the bootstraps a little bit. I've had to get really conscious of this. Some things that I thought would work out or be easier than they are not. And I'm having to tweak my plan of action, tweak my attitude, tweak my schedule, whatever it may be. So this is a really good time for a smidge of reflection, especially before we hit eclipse season. And I will talk a little bit more about the equinox and eclipse season as we move through the podcast. But back to the 2, and then I'm going to talk about the 11 energy. The 2 is an opportunity to really see who in your life is teaching you things, and not always the people that are saying, oh my gosh, you're amazing, or I appreciate you so much. Those people you definitely want to notice and see if you can receive that recognition and appreciation. But who are the people in your life that are not thrilled with you? That are giving you feedback, and it may be constructive feedback, or it may be not liking you very much or not returning your calls. Like, what kind of feedback are you getting, and where can you take it a little less personally? And what I mean by that is I want you to be able to become more self-aware, but instead of flying off the handle or really getting sensitive emotionally or defensive, the 2 can be very defensive, by the way, just like the Libra, and it takes one to know one. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a justifier and a defensive gal. And I'm not so much anymore. I can have my little reaction or my blow up, but then I can say, wait a minute, Amanda, maybe your role is this. What is your role in this? What did you do that might be triggering this? Or where do you need to have a hard look at yourself, because what they're saying may be accurate and you hadn't been ready to look at it yet. So what are other people teaching you, especially the people that either trigger the heck out of you, hurt your feelings, or disrupt your flow? And literally see where you can step back, remove the person, and look at the experience. How did I feel about that? What were they saying? And where can I find my truth? Or what work do I have to do around that? Do I owe an amends? Was I not accountable? Did I actually say something and I wasn't thoughtful and I wasn't listening and I misspoke? Or did I take someone else's job? Did I jump in and do something without asking permission? Did I do it out of the chain of command? I'm just giving you food for thought. But the people who ruffle your feathers are your greatest teachers. This month especially, whoever freaking ruffles your feathers, pay attention and see what you're learning from them. And guess what can result in that? If you do the work and if you go within and you do some deep, honest soul searching about your side of the street and what you're learning, is compassion. And it's like, oh, man, maybe they were right. It didn't feel good, didn't like their delivery, but wow, I recognize, I jump in and I just assume that XYZ needs to be done, and that really is somebody else's job, and I'm steamrolling. And then you can take it a step further once you're clear and you're out of the emotional torment and roller coaster of it, and you can maybe even assert yourself and say, hey, when you said that to me the other day and you pointed it out, at first it kind of hurt my feelings. I was taken aback. I love the vulnerability in that too. And that's usually how I approach things is if I was rude or I was defensive, it's because it made me feel insecure or my feelings were hurt or I was frustrated that I didn't do it well the first time and you were upset with me, that I maybe made you aggravated or it was uncomfortable for me. And so I like to be able to use my honesty and my heart when I'm vulnerable. And then I can say, but I hear what you said and you're right. I do these things this way, but I didn't know that I was overstepping. How can we work through this? How can I do better? Or how can you better show me what might work? I'm giving you food for thought in terms of communication, because if the 2 energy in numerology is about relationships, what are you going to need? communication, because it's freaking people. I think I've said this before, but I always laugh at that meme with Morticia from the Addams Family, and she goes, "Ooh, it's people-y out there." And that's how I feel sometimes. I love to be with people and out in the world, but sometimes I'm like, oh, people. And we all feel that way. And guess what? If you feel that way one day this month or 10 days this month, oh, people, oh gosh, people, if you feel that, take a minute and let yourself feel that and recognize, oh my gosh, I'm kind of running on a half tank today, or I'm a little exhausted, or I'm distracted because I have 25 things going on in my personal life and with my family, and I don't feel 100% at work. So if you can get clear on that, guess what you can do? When you show up to work and with your coworkers, or you show up and out in the world and in life, and you know you're running on less than your vital, creative, illuminated self, you can say, hey, just a heads up, if I'm a little cranky today, or if I'm a little off, I just am having a day. So can you give me some grace? But I just wanted to tell you that off the bat. Tell on yourself. Give a disclaimer. I think disclaimers are incredible. I use them with my husband a lot. And I started practicing this a long time ago in saying to him, you know what, if I'm really aggravated right now, or if I am not paying attention to you, it is not you, it is me. I'm still in my head about something. I'm trying to figure something out. I'm solving the problems of the world over here, and I'll have time for you in a minute. But I'll just say that to him. And then as soon as I say it, I start to laugh, because guess what? Then I freaking stop taking myself so seriously. And that's what this month can feel like, is all of this pent up emotions can really do a number on you. So taking a moment to get still and reflect will be very helpful. One of the things that I'm thinking about right now, and of course, I keep thinking about my mom, and I'm recording this in her bedroom because first of all, I wanted a change of scenery. And second of all, because this is airing on the 28th, the anniversary of her death. And we spent a lot of time in this room together. As many of you know, my husband and I relocated back from Belize to Texas. We bought a home, we moved her in with us, and we cared for her for a year. We cared for her on hospice while she was terminally ill. And I tell you what, it was a year. It was beautiful, and it was painful, and it was delightful. It was divine. It was hard. It was sad. It was unnerving at times. It was exhaustive. You all know, if you've been caregivers, if you have taken care of anyone who is sick, whether they're a parent or a grandparent, a child who is terminally ill, it's heavy for the dynamic of the family. And it was a lot. So I'm recording from her room, and I heard something really cool. I don't know, about 6 months ago, I was listening to Coast to Coast with George Norrie. Shout out to Coast to Coast. And I can't remember who the interview was with, but this gentleman was talking about the places in which people die and how they can be very, very high vibrational because they create a portal of energy. He wasn't talking as much about tragic, traumatic, acute deaths or very violent deaths. But as you know, if you visit battlegrounds, you can feel the heaviness of some places, or energy is apparent and you can feel that. But what he was alluding to is, if you are caring for someone and they die in the home and it is a beautiful and a peaceful death, it creates a very high vibrational portal in that space. And my mom's room feels like that. I had a really good friend come visit me. We had been talking about things, and he walked into Mom's room and he said, oh my gosh, he's really sensitive energetically and very astute and wise. And he said, oh my gosh, he said, the vibration in here. He said, can I just sit in here and meditate for a few minutes? And it was, first of all, it was really precious to me, but also my heart was smiling because he said, oh, the vibration is really high in here. And it is. And I can feel it. My eyes are actually burning as I'm recording this podcast. It may be because the cedar count is high outside in Texas, but I'll attribute it to the high vibration in the room. But when my mom passed, and I just want to share this story, and I think I might have shared some tidbits, but it relates to the energy of the master number 11. When my mom was in her last week of life. There was a morning where she was unconscious, and it was out of the blue. She had been conscious the day before. She had been in and out, and of course things were really beginning to shut down. It was the end, right? We knew that, but I wasn't expecting the end to be that day. It was like I was humanly not ready for it. So that would be like the 2 energy. I'm gonna liken all of this to the energy of the 2 and the 11 a little bit, just so you can think in expanded terms. And this is how my brain works too, by the way. And this is how I read numbers and energy and see the code. So I'm just giving you a gateway into sometimes how I see the parallels and my lessons and learning and opportunity. And this is very reflective too. So I was not humanly ready on that Wednesday morning when she was non-responsive. And when her hospice nurse got here, I was a train wreck. I was losing my you-know-what, and I was still in my pajamas when he got here, and he had been with us for a year and never seen me in my pajamas. I was always dressed. My mom would have died, probably. I mean, she would have pajamas on, but they were beautifully pressed, and she always had her lipstick on. I mean, she was like, John, her nurse's name was John. John can't come in here. I'm not totally ready yet. I mean, it was always about, well, let's meet John in the living room. You know, when she could, she would always sit out. She didn't want to be in bed when the nurse came, the hospice nurse, until, one day that wasn't the case. But anyway, John gets there. I'm in my pajamas and he goes, oh, what's going on here? And I mean, he knew that she was active and really beginning to decline. And I was like, she's not talking. She hasn't been talking all day, and I'm just kind of breaking down. And he said, well, let's go in. And we came into the room and, he checked her vitals and he said, Amanda, this has been coming and she's been pre-active and now she is fully active. And he said, I just want to be straight with you. It could be a couple of hours or it could be a couple of days. And when he said 2 hours, and mind you, my old career was in hospice. My mom was a retired nurse and did a lot of geriatric care. She and I both were very familiar with death and dying, and I have been present for a lot of death, personal death, but in hospice, in a multitude of capacities. I have walked through a lot of different kinds of death. We had a pediatric hospice. I've walked through a lot of child death that is sometimes the most horrific and the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. And when I say beautiful, children are the most joyful things. When they are terminally ill, it's one of the most remarkable. I mean, it brings tears to my eyes because I think of how joyful children are and how much stronger they are than their parents or even the nurses and the doctors that take care of them. And I've seen that a lot. So back to this, it's so layered for me. I'm trying to be succinct, but I'm just losing it. And I'm familiar with death and I knew this was coming and I just was not ready for it. My 2024 numerology guidebook is out now. Grab my comprehensive month-over-month numerology breakdown, guiding you through the empowered undercurrent of the infinite potential of the energy of the 8. 2024 is an 8 universal year. The guidebook breaks down the number codes of each month with a theme, a description, a detailed account of what the number code can clarify, create, provide, harness, clean up, and illuminate for you with crystal recommendations, intentions, journal prompts, strategies, blind spots, and so much more. This is stuff I've been doing for years intensively with clients and for myself. I wanted to offer a guidebook for the year, this powerful and empowered year, looking at the universal energy, breaking it down month over month clearly so you can systematically and consistently harness and understand your energy field and how it works in the collective and with the flow of the year. The 8 says, get empowered or go home. Get on board or get out of the game. And it's not to create fear, it's to create all of this potential. It's a year where you can really summon your charisma and clear out the gunk. Check out the tools I've created to help expand your consciousness and refocus your point of attraction to live your greatest, happiest, and healthiest life. Get the 2024 Numerology Guidebook today at soulpathology.com.
With the best all-inclusive vacation deals to Mexico and the Caribbean, booking your getaway with cheap Caribbean vacations means you have more freedom. Whether you want to enjoy snorkeling, endless margaritas, and more, Cheap Caribbean Vacations has your deal for that. Plan and book using our exclusive budget beach finder, or find a featured all-inclusive package to Hyatt Ziva Riviera Cancun at cheapcaribbean.com. That's cheapcaribbean.com.
Hey guys, Rob Parker here, and everybody knows it. Toyota trucks are the stuff of legends. Rugged, durable, everlasting. Toyota makes trucks that just don't quit. And now, Toyota is driving that legacy toward the future with two of their most powerful trucks ever, the new Tundra and the all-new Tacoma. In a half-a-ton Tundra, you can rule the road from the comfort of a spacious cabin with connected tech and plenty of hauling power. The Tundra is ready to work hard and play even harder. Or check out the all-new 24 Tacoma, redesigned and electrified to maximize your adventure. With a bevy of available off-road, driving, and power transfer modes, you will effortlessly crush the conditions. And with the Tacoma's reimagined interior, you'll do it in style. And right now, your local Toyota dealer has more vehicles in stock and is making delivery on new vehicles almost every day. So don't wait. Buy a Tundra or a Tacoma today. Visit buyatoyota.com for deals and more. Toyota, let's go places.
You deserve a moment to yourself every single day. And a delicious bite of a Keebler Sandies can give you that comforting pause. Don't forget to pack the melt-in-your-mouth magic of a Keebler Sandies for a post-lunch pick-me-up. This magic is baked into simple shortbread cookies by Ernie and the Keebler Elves. So as life continues to fly by, make the most of your me moment. Take a pause and enjoy a Keebler Sandies.
But I'm just losing it, and I'm familiar with death, and I knew this was coming, and I just was not ready for it. And, you know, as he left and we prayed, it was really sweet. We held hands and we prayed, and she was completely non-responsive, and it was just really precious. And when he left, I just curled up next to her and I just started telling her all the things. I don't even know what, but I just started telling her everything maybe I had forgotten to tell her or wanted her to know. I started playing the theme music to Out of Africa. My mom used to go to sleep to that all the time. And if you've never listened to the theme music to Out of Africa, it is lovely. It's serene and peaceful and romantic. And she used to go to sleep to that. My mom always went to sleep with music for as long as I can remember, especially after my dad died when I was 18. So I started playing Out of Africa. And if you listen to it, it'll, and you have any kind of sentiment, it might make you start crying too. It's etheric. It's an etheric score. But anyway, I start playing it, and I'm next to her bed talking to her, and she just was totally non-responsive. And then she looked over, and she kind of came to. She didn't kind of come to. She came to, and she said, "What are you doing here, beautiful girl?" And I did not look beautiful. I had my pajamas on and I was just a wreck. And it was like, "I've been sitting here. What are you doing?" And then she rallied. And that moment in my messiness and my fear and my rawness of saying, "I'm not ready, don't go, I'm not ready for this yet. I thought I was ready for it, but I'm not ready for it." That is the energy of the 11. And even though that may sound disjointed to you and not like, the master number, all of that wisdom and all that intelligence, it was such a real moment. It was a real moment, and her spirit came right back into her body, and she was clear, cognizant, and present. And so in my messiest moment, my seemingly weakest, rawest moment, she fully came back in with her presence. That is the energy of the 11. And if you hold out your two index fingers in front of you, like a 1 and a 1, the 11 is like a portal. It is a portal between the human world and the spiritual world. And I was a full representation of all of my human messiness in that moment. And then boom, she came back in and was acutely alert, awake, and hysterical, by the way, because the rest of that afternoon was just funny. And it was joyful and delightful. And in the days that followed, there was an energy that pervaded this space. It pervaded our house, but it really pervaded this area of the house where her room is. And it was luminous, and it was like clouds. It's like if you could walk in the clouds. And it wasn't all beautiful, by the way. When I say that, it's kind of like evokes like a kind of a poetry to it. It was like poetic and surreal, because it was like walking between space and time from that Wednesday afternoon to the following early hours of Tuesday morning when she left her body. And a lot of things happened in between that time. But, over the weekend, and I just am sharing a few of these stories because, one, I want to honor her. Two, it's also, I want to share them because probably of some of my grief and my memory. And also, I hope it touches you in whatever you are walking through and whatever you are going through. So thank you for allowing me to share some of this. But we had a nurse come on Saturday, and our nurse, John, he got COVID. like it was just, all the things were happening. He got COVID. So he came on Wednesday, and then he couldn't come on Thursday because he was diagnosed with COVID. And none of us got COVID. Who knows if my mom got COVID? I don't think she didn't, because she didn't have any symptoms, because she's just like blissed out on her hospice drugs and walking between the worlds and all the things. But we had this nurse come in on Saturday, and my half-sister Anne, who had been here, we're trying to do all the things, and it's difficult and challenging, the caregiving. And the sweet nurse that came, who looked like an angel, by the way. She had these bright, gorgeous blue eyes and this cute blonde hair, and she just was like an angel. And she came in, and she only works a couple of days a month. So it was so divinely orchestrated. But she pulled me aside because Mom was starting to linger. It felt like to me it was time for her to go. And this is on Saturday. And I'm like, everything is starting to signal she should be clinically, medically gone, right? But as you know, if you've walked through death, and me being in hospice, there are times that humans spirits defy the clinical, biological, scientific odds, right? Well, that's what was going on, because everything denoted she should have left. And also because of the amount of dialogue and work and healing my mom had done. My mom was not afraid to die. Mom was ready. And as she would say, I'm ready to go meet my Lord. Like, I am ready. I'm ready for the angels to take me. I am ready for your Father. I'm ready to see him. My parents, her best friend, Judy, she's like, Judy's got to be here. She was ready for all her peeps to come get her. And we'd talked about that for years. And she wasn't going. So I just said to the nurse, like, what is going on? I'm not sure what unfinished business there is or anything. And she said, Amanda, let me tell you what it feels like is going on. It's one of those moments where somebody has a straight talk with you and they really know what's up. And she did. She knew and she just knew what to say, and she knew what was going on spiritually. She said, what's happening here is, she said, it looks like to me your mom is getting the most unconditional love she has ever seen or experienced on this earth. All the love. And I was doing, her face routine and like her lip care and her eye patches, because my mom wanted to die pretty, right? She wanted her skin and everything done. And I was doing it like obsessively too. Like it was I was like taking care of her. That's what my sister Anne said. It was a little obsessive, Amanda, but it was also really beautiful. Like the neuroses full on come out, right? I'm like, if everything is not perfectly together, she's going to come haunt me, Like these are the things I have to do. But it was also this act of devotion, right? Like, again, there's the energy of the 11, the like OCD part of me, not wanting to let my mom down, doing all the things that she wanted, just the way that she wanted them, because she was like a control freak to the core, like very much so. And I say that with love, Mom, because she knows. I would say that while she was alive. but my family used to call her the general. So like the general. So I was really just taking on that role. And then it was also devotion. It was me caring for, me doting on and loving delicately the way I knew how to show devotion to her and care. And so that's the energy of the 11, the human part that is raw and messy and obsessive, and the divine part that turns into sacred devotion and sacred time. So the nurse says to me, she's getting all this unconditional love. And she said, and it is so beautiful and loving and reverent. And she said she's having a difficult time stepping into divine love because it's really hard to leave this unconditional space with all the care that you are giving her. She needs some time to bask in and float to the other side. Her spirit does. And so the nurse said to me, you need to go to the grocery store. You need to go on a walk with your husband. You need to get out of that space. She's not going to go with you hovering, Amanda. You need to go get out and do some things and not hover and not be afraid that you're going to be gone and something's going to happen. All the things that we have that run through our mind. She said, just get out of here. She needs some time to be able to settle in and embrace all of that divine love that is reaching for her. And it was the most profound and perfect thing that anyone could have said, because I understood what she was talking about, that I needed to give my mom her space and not be afraid so her body and her spirit could settle, could release. And when she died, and that was on Saturday, and it wouldn't be until early Tuesday morning, the day before she died, we had this whole experience with an angel that was really profound. We got it on videotape, and there was this angel, and my mom at that point wasn't communicating again. She wasn't responsive, and somebody had mentioned, gosh, there is all this angelic presence. There's this big angel in the room, and we had felt it, but didn't know how to communicate it. It wasn't clear. And then someone said, it's like there's this massive angel that is so large that it's like hovering in the room, in the space. And so my sister Ann said to her, Lisa, who is it? Like, tell us about this angel. And my mom is not communicating. So I just blurt out, well, Mom, is it Michael? And she didn't say anything. And then I was like, okay, is it Raphael? I'm just like blurting out archangels that I know, right? And she didn't say anything. And then out of nowhere, I said, is it Jophiel? And my mom literally said, it's Jophiel. And she said it twice. She goes, it's Jophiel. And my sister Ann and I look at each other because she knew what we were asking. She knew there was an angel there, and she knew who it was. And Jophiel is the great liberator. Jophiel is the purveyor of joy, but Jophiel is about freedom and experiencing divine liberation of the soul into divinity, back into eternity. So all of it tracked. All of it made sense. Last but not least, I'll share this with you. And all of this goes back to the energy of the 11 and the 2. What I want you to notice this month is, humanly, when do you experience the divine? When do you have, whether it be an aha moment, whether it be a sunset that is just striking and majestic, and you take a minute and it takes your breath away, if it's a synchronicity and you see all of a sudden your spirit animal. I've gotten so many messages about animals showing up in magical, beautiful ways for people over and over again, and that moment where you're just like amazed, right? Or it is repeating numbers, 1111 or 222 or whatever you see, and you're like, oh gosh, I can't believe that happened. I got to tell somebody about it. That's what I want you to do this month. I want you to, first of all, notice when you experience reverence, the divine, something sacred. And it can be at church when you are on your knees praying, or there is a hymn or a ballad or a song, or you are in your car and you hear a song you haven't heard on the radio and it just gets you to the core and you begin to weep. And weeping, sorrow, I experience the divine, and I think because of walking through death and what I've learned about it in this last year is the divine for me, it is rapturous love in all its grandiosity combined with the deepest sorrow and sadness and pain you can ever imagine. It's all of it. It's painful and it is strikingly loving and beautiful and connected. And that's what I know about divinity. So I can be looking at a sunset and feel that majestic magnificence, and it can be all of those things. So when you have your aha moments or your divine moments this month, and even if they are painful, even if you are going through some heavy, you know what, right now, and a lot of people are. So if you are struggling right now, know that that's sacred too. The struggle can be sacred. And where can you really surrender to it and give it to your guides? Give it to your angels. Give it to your higher power. Invite your higher power in to support you. But when you experience it, see if you can hold the vibration of it for longer than just that instant. So breathing it in, feeling it, and feel it through your heart. Go straight to the darn heart chakra, because if there's anything about the numerology of this month and the astrology, because of the transition from Pisces into Aries, the beautiful equinox energy on the 19th, which is a great day to do something outside, set some intentions, do something reverent, ritualistic, ceremonial for yourself, do it. That energy is really profound. It is really magnificent. And if you can feel it and sustain it and breathe it and hold it for a little bit, you're inviting that energy in and invite it in through the heart chakra. And just breathe in glorious emerald green energy. And even deeper than that is the beautiful, delicate pink inside the heart. So the heart chakra right there, this is a good month for heart chakra work and heart chakra energies. And we are moving into a phase in humanity where we are learning to expand our heart and move out of some of the lower chakra turmoil so we can actually live more from the heart and utilize our throat, our third eye, our crown chakra, and beyond more effectively and sustainably. And that relates back to this last story that I wanted to share about that experience with my mom. Is the chaplain who walked with us for a whole year and my mom became really close with. She was lovely. She had jury duty on Monday and she called and told me, she's like, I've got jury duty. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to be able to stop by. And it was fine. It was what it was supposed to be. And she said, but the chaplain, one of the other chaplains will reach out to you, and definitely here's his number, but he'll reach out to you. And he reached out to me, and it was on Monday. And I just remember this so poignantly. And I'm sitting in this chair in my mom's room, and this is exactly where I was sitting when I was talking to him on the phone. It's funny how we remember those things, and that's when time and space breaks, right? The kinds of moments where you just remember and and you can sense and see and feel. That's space-time continuum. That's quantum energy. Like those kind of memories and going back to them is quantum too. And it's, again, very high vibrational. It's divine. That's the energy of the 11, the master number 11. He said to me, and I was just relaying some of the things that had been going on and her not letting go and us taking care of her, all the minutia and all the details and whatever else I was saying to him. I'm sure I was just babbling. And he said, Amanda, he says, as humans, he says, we are not meant to sustain divine energy for too long. And he says, what you're doing right now, walking between those worlds with her, and she is marinating in and connecting with the divine, and you are all joined with her in community with that. Because I had a fever. My sister had gotten a fever. We didn't have COVID, but we both felt like we had the flu. We were really run down and feeling all the things. I mean, I did not feel physically well. It was like this spiritual flu. I was physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally just wiped, totally tapped, right? He said, what's happening is, he says, you're experiencing divine energy and the human body is not meant to sustain it for that long of time. It does a number on your body and your biology, your mind, your emotions, all the things. And again, he just hit me with that. And it was like, that's what all this is. It's brilliant and it's incredible and it's not sustainable. So what I want you to think about or take away from, and Elizabeth, my producer, and I talked about this a little bit before we began to record, is how Earth is like a PhD program. There's a woman, Barbara Marciniak, who channels the Pleiadians, and she calls Earth the living library. That this place is this vast repository and library of information. And many people say, and I believe this to my core, we come down to learn. We come down to expand. We come down to grow, to heal, to reconcile, and to expand through contrast, through painful stuff, through confusing things. That's what we come to do. And there's the contrast. That's the polarity. That's the energy of the two. It's learning through contrast, learning through the other. Whether you love it and it resonates with you or you don't like what you're hearing, that's the energy of this month. And so much of what we are here to do is to learn. And this place, this earth space, it's not easy. It is shifting. It's changing. The vibration, I know you all can feel this, is shifting drastically. And there are times when it doesn't feel sustainable. It's because higher levels of consciousness, vibrations that we are not used to, are coming in, and our body can only sustain so much for so long. So that's why I believe your self-care, your ability to recognize, oh gosh, I'm really tired today. Maybe I take a couple of things off my plate, or maybe I delegate, or maybe I let somebody know I need help, or I'm in just a funky, junky mood, that I'm not okay, or I'm not, my elevator's not going to the top today. Like whatever it is, we're experiencing some massive consciousness shifts. And I think this month is pretty significant in that, especially with eclipse season. We have 2 eclipses coming up. The first one is March 25th, and it is a Libra lunar full moon eclipse. So we've got a Libra full moon eclipse. And then in April, more on that next month, but in April, we'll have a new moon eclipse in Aries, and it's a solar eclipse. So in March, we've got the full moon eclipse, and full moons are a time of closure, but the full moon eclipse will trigger this massive 6-month cycle of healing. And it will be in the sign of Libra. So it'll be about relationships, balance, harmony, all the things that the 2 signifies. So look at that astro numero combo. We're in a 2-month, and the first eclipse of the year is in Libra. So there you go. I love how those things come together. I am going to do a little bonus episode that will be released on March 9th. It will be a new moon and a full moon episode. We've got a new moon on March 10th in Pisces, which is lovely. I love this moon for manifesting your dreams. I also love it for enhancing your psychic abilities. So I'll talk more about that when I do the recording on March 9th. And then I'm also going to talk about the upcoming eclipse in Libra, the full moon eclipse on the 25th in Libra, and how you can utilize both of those moons as you move forward through the year, but also to really get clear going forward. That's why I also wanted you to do a little reflecting this month. So that way you're really clear on where you are and what your challenges are and what your opportunities are, where you feel right sized, where you feel passionate and encouraged, and where you're just done or you're discouraged or things aren't working. And the numerology guidebook, if you haven't gotten that, it is so simply laid out. It will help you because there are journal prompts in there for every month. There's a detailed account of the numerology for the month. There's a crystal recommendation. I know I've mentioned all this before, but it's really good sometimes to have that on paper. And it's good to be able to reference it and re-reference it, or take the guidebook and go back to February, go back to January, or jump ahead to April. I do that all the time with all of my astrology and numerology stuff. I go backwards and I go forward so I can really get clear in the now. So I feel really primed or situated in what I'm working on today, or what I am healing, or where my path is unfolding in the most divine way. So that is really helpful.
With the best all-inclusive vacation deals to Mexico and the Caribbean, booking your getaway with cheap Caribbean vacations means you have more freedom to do your deal. Whether you want to enjoy snorkeling, endless margaritas and more, or simply soak up the sun and sand in a tropical paradise, Cheap Caribbean Vacations has your deal for that. Plan and book the exact getaway you want at exactly the right price for you by using our exclusive budget beach finder, or find a featured all-inclusive package to Iberostar Hotels and Resorts and do your deal at cheapcaribbean.com.
Hey guys, it's Rich Davis from Covino and Rich, and it's a great day to venture out into a spacious and capable Toyota SUV, like a new RAV4. With available all-wheel drive, it could go just about anywhere. And with plenty of passenger and cargo space, you'll go from morning carpool to weekend road trip without missing a beat. Plus, with available features like wireless charging and a touchscreen interface, your Toyota RAV4 will keep you connected no matter where you're going. Or check out a spacious Highlander. With seating for up to 8, it's a hub for family adventure. You'll drive in comfort and style with available heated and ventilated seats and all the latest tech. And with available hybrid models, your new Highlander could save you tons on gas. Right now, your local Toyota dealer has more vehicles in stock and is making delivery on new vehicles almost every day. So don't wait. Buy a RAV4 or Highlander today. Visit buyatoyota.com for deals and more. Toyota, let's go places.
You deserve a moment to yourself every single day. And a delicious bite of a Keebler Sandies can give you that comforting pause. Bring along the melt-in-your-mouth magic of a Keebler Sandies to add a sprinkle of joy to your workday. This magic is baked into simple shortbread cookies by Ernie and the Keebler Elves. So as life continues to fly by, make the most of your me moment. Take a pause and enjoy a Keebler Sandies.
So the last few takeaways from this month, and thank you again for allowing me to process in real time and process with you. I feel really safe doing that and sharing it, and I do hope it resonates for each of you, and you can also use this month for this opportunity to really bask in your humanness and then embrace your divinity and find where the two intersect. So that's the numerology for this month. And let me say this because I'm not sure I pointed it out, but we're in an 8 universal year. And the energy of the 8 is very empowered. It wants to jump in and figure it all out yesterday, kind of. And the 2's like, okay, I've gotten this done and now I need to relax. Or, oh, now I'm so impatient because nothing's coming together on my watch. That's really the dichotomy of the 2. It's like, okay, I need more balance. I need to just space out and zone out. I can't. It's people-y out there. Or the 2 is like, oh, why isn't everything coming together? Like, it's really, there's a lot of dichotomy and polarization in the energy of the 2. But the 8 has a lot of oomph. So slow your roll with your oomph this month. And I don't mean chill out with your passion or your excitement or your vitality. What I mean is notice when you're vital. Notice when you're passionate. Notice when you're excited. Notice when you're ready and use that energy. And then when you start to run out of gas or you've given all you've got and you start kind of pushing and forcing, that's when you hesitate. That's when you back off and you loosen your grip. Notice that with the energy of the 11 and really relating to that this month, noticing your synchronicities, noticing the divine. Remember that with the energy of the 11, it is the interconnection of the human experience and the divine. And we are human beings, and most of you, I would think, have heard this. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. That's the energy of the 11, the master number 11, remembering that you are a spiritual being that chose to come down into this human experience with its beauty and its tragedy alike in order to grow, in order to expand. You know, it's funny, the last couple of weeks, I have been craving divinity. I know that may sound kind of strange because it kind of sounds strange to me when I say it because I still think it's a little strange, but I kind of love it too, is when I get in the car or, my morning meditation, I'm getting really excited about looking for the divine in life. Meaning, and y'all know this, my car is like my sacred time when I'm driving to or from. It's my time. So I will turn the music on and I will allow myself to just feel free and drive and just in awe when the grass is blowing on the side of the road and it looks like it's sparkling. And I may sound so cheesy and silly right now, but y'all, I drive around sometimes and I notice things in nature and I've gotten like giddy and almost mesmerized by things where I've had to pull my car over a couple times. I'm not joking. I sound so funny. And it is kind of hysterical to me even saying this out loud. But I've been like thirsty for the divine in the daily lately. Where can you find the divine in the daily? And then how do you bring it back with you and hold it just long enough so you can be a little kinder, a little more compassionate, a little bit more patient, a little bit more loving in your life? That's the energy of this month, is brushing up against eternity, experiencing that transcendence, synchronistic, miraculous amazement, or that beautiful, emotional, like waterfall that cascades down when you have tears welling up, and they kind of come from your heart. When you start to cry and you just feel it in your heart, it starts right in the heart space because something just evokes emotion. Wherever you experience that this month, how can you hold it? And then how can you bring it into your relationships, into your life, into your experience? Because guess what? It'll propel you further, faster, farther, better in the months ahead in ways that we're ready for, and we need more love. We need to live more from our heart, and this is the month to practice it. Thank you all for enjoying me. I appreciate all the incredible feedback. If you've got any messages that you want to send, you can reach out. The email is podcast@soulsessions.me. I love hearing from all of you, your stories and your feedback, your questions alike. Take care and be well, everyone.
You deserve to treat yourself, so turn your tax refund into a U fund and give yourself a Straight Talk Wireless Extended Silver Unlimited plan and get a new Samsung Galaxy A14 on them. You can get a great everyday value on wireless with Straight Talk's Unlimited plan starting at $25 a line per month for 4 lines. You'll save so much you'll be enjoying that refund all year long. It's the refund that keeps on refunding. Find Straight Talk at straighttalk.com or at your local Walmart store. Taxes and fees not included. Offer valid through 4/14/24 while supplies last. Online only. Must purchase a Straight Talk Extended Silver Unlimited plan to qualify. Limit of 5 phones per customer. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Not combinable with auto-pay discount.
With the best all-inclusive vacation deals to Mexico and the Caribbean, booking your getaway with Cheap Caribbean Vacations means you have more freedom to do your deal. Whether you want to enjoy snorkeling, endless margaritas and more, or simply soak up the sun and sand in a tropical paradise, Cheap Caribbean Vacations has your deal for that. Plan and book the exact getaway you want at exactly the right price for you by using our exclusive budget beach finder, or find a featured all-inclusive package to Iberostar Hotels and Resorts and do your deal at cheapcaribbean.com.
Did you know that most salads travel over 2,000 miles to reach your plate? But not with 80 Acres Farms. Their crisp salad greens and herbs are food less traveled, going from farm to store in days, not weeks. They stay fresher for longer in your fridge. My salad lasts all week long, which means less food waste and easy meal planning. Oh, and did I mention there's no need to wash these greens? Because 80 Acres Farms uses 0 pesticides. Visit 80acresfarms.com to learn more and find their salads and salad kits at your local Harris Teeter.